For me, sport happened very naturally. Ever since, and I've mentioned this many times, ever since I have any recollection of memories, I know that I've had the cricket bat in my hand. So where the influence came from, I have no idea. Like I can't claim that I saw my brother or my father involved in some activities. I just knew that I had a cricket bat in hand, and that's going back to the earliest memory I have. So I think for me, it was meant to be. When I looked at a cricket bat, I knew that I want to have that bat in my hand and learn the skills that are attached to using that particular bat. So that's how my journey started. And then I used to watch a lot of games on TV, try to copy people who were playing, my heroes, try to copy their shots. And I was pretty decent at it. So there was a friend of mine, we used to live in a housing society back then. So he actually told my father, why don't you enroll him? He's pretty good. If he's able to copy the shots and play them almost the same way that these guys are playing, then you should probably think of, enrolling him into. So he asked me, do you want to learn this professionally? I said, yeah, I definitely do, and I love playing this sport. So that's how I got initiated into learning cricket in a cricket academy, which was still is called West Delhi Cricket Academy, which I went there for the first time to learn, and I'm still with the same coach. So that's a brief start of my particular cricketing and sporting journey.
Did anyone tell you, "Padhai karo, ये सब बंद करो, don't do this"?
ये सब बंद करो नहीं, and I have never had those kind of radical views in my house, luckily.
Maybe in the school, people told you that you need to study more.
No, I mean, I was pretty decent at studies. I mean, if I focused on studies, I was pretty good at it, except for math. I just couldn't understand math. I still don't. So I'm scared. How am I gonna, teach anything to my daughter if she asks me questions? So that really scares me. Apart from math, I was decent at everything else. I didn't have enough time to do it, but when I did focus on it, I was pretty good. So I never had trouble at school. I was never, bunking classes. I was doing my work properly. Because my father was a lawyer. He used to practice law in the High Court, and he was pretty, not firm, but pretty clear on the fact that you have to study along with playing as well. To a point where he asked me after my 10th boards, and I wasn't able to go to school quite a bit after my 10th boards because I started playing under 19 India and all that stuff. So he asked me very seriously, are you absolutely serious about this? Simple question, no trying to play with words or anything like that. Neither did he tell me, no, ye sab chodo aur padhai karo. He asked me a simple question. My answer was very clear. I said, yes, this is what I want to do. And he said, you might as well just, fully put your attention into it. So I was lucky that I got that support from home. And I always tell people who ask me this question as well, that till the time you are not absolutely sure of whether this is a career option for you, please focus as much on studies. I think what happens is we start focusing on sports so much in school. Some people take it as an excuse as well, and that's a very personal responsibility. So I am the first guy who will say that sport has not been given as much importance as it should have in the last 20 years at least of my growing up and seeing the culture evolve. But at the same time, I've seen many people who use that as an excuse, and today they are struggling because they were neither here nor there. So one has to be honest with themselves and really say, am I willing to give all my time and absolute attention to this sport? And if things don't work out, what is plan B? So that awareness one needs to have. So I was pretty lucky that I was never forced into making any sort of choices. I was just asked a question and I gave my answer, and then it was my responsibility to follow through.
Right. So while sports is not a digression, that like how people think, but it also shouldn't be an excuse for not taking care of it. By the way, I don't know how many of you have tracked his mark sheet for the board exam, which is doing rounds. You have, yeah. And now you know why Virat is such a balanced, well-spoken guy. I mean, he always was. It's just that he's underplayed his academics so much that people thought otherwise. Now you know that why, when the mic is in front of you, this guy can speak. Right?
Pretty good, right? 2 months of studying, not bad. 70%. No, I'm serious. That's all I studied, but my attention was fully into making sure that I prepare as much as possible. I think in the you can say under the blanket of my so-called anger issues over the years, people have not paid attention to the other side of me. But that's what was on the surface. I didn't really come to the surface as a person, so to speak. And you deal with insecurities and all that sort of stuff, and that cycle goes on. But today I'm very comfortable with who I am, where I am. So yeah, the natural self comes to the surface when I talk, and I guess people kind of connect to that.
So okay, I'm deviating a bit, but is that you see it as an anger, or when people are really passionate about something, when they really want something, emotions come to the fore, right? I mean, that's...
Yeah, this is one of the things that I not found as a challenge, but I felt there was a constant pushback in the way that I portrayed myself. I was just being organic. If I was feeling insecure, it was shown. If I was angry, it was shown. I was not trying to be a perfect boy, telling people I read books, I wear glasses and I read books and I'm so simple. I wasn't. You saw me swear on the field. You saw me flick a finger. I mean, the kind of things that today I can't even imagine. But I didn't feel like there's any need to hold back. And then things kind of panned out a certain way, and the path kept opening up itself. So I felt as a collective society, there was not enough acceptance for that kind of display of one's personality at different stages. I mean, there is a expectation to be perfect all the time. You can't expect a 21-year-old to be perfect who's trying to go through phases of life where he's insecure, he's not made it yet, he doesn't know who he himself is, so much attention, so much scrutiny, all that stuff. So there was not enough room for acceptance, but there was a lot of demands and expectations. And even when I was in a leadership role and along with Ravi Bhai, this is one of the things that we always kept discussing. We never felt like we were doing anything wrong, and it's a very, very open and honest confession, not out of ego, but there's a knowing when you do anything. When you eat good food, it's good. When you eat something bad, it's a knowing. It's not, you're not trying to fool yourself.
You feel it.
You feel it. So we felt our heart was in the right place. Our intent was always right. But there was always a thing of, no, but this is too intense and this and that. And then when we both left, people started appreciating, looking back at it. So, but at that time, we appreciated our own efforts completely. And that was a big lesson for us, that there won't be acceptance on a large scale. That will take a lot of time. But what has to be done for a culture.
Did it impact you, Virat? Like when people would look at your intensity in a negative way, or would put negative sentiment out, or sometimes even put whatever troll? Would that impact you? Would you, or you said, no, I need to stay credible. I need to be myself, and it feels good. Is that how you saw it? Or?
So when I did things that I did, I never felt like, what are people going to say? Never. I just did them. Afterwards, I felt, because of the constant interactions I had with, press and post-match presentation, presenters, I just felt like there was always something else. Like if I didn't perform as a batter, there was, captaincy is okay, but what about batting? If I performed as a batsman and we lost, batting is okay, but what about captaincy? If everything was fine, but your behavior is not good. So I was like, well, I'm never going to be able to please everyone. So I thought, might as well just be myself. And even if I go down like this, at least I'll be okay with the fact that I did what I wanted to do. And if people don't want to accept it at a large scale, that's okay. I've had a great, run, and things have been wonderful. I can't complain. So I had to kind of accept a lot of things within myself, but that didn't mean that I stopped being who I am. I just didn't care about what people thought or if they accepted me or not.
Right. I can tell you from the other side, from the marketing side, marketer side of a brand which has partnered you for this long, for 6 years now, that I mean, personalities like you, always polarize, right? And I think, and that really helps. If I have to be very honest, because you get emotions out, good, bad, you get emotions out, and that's what is important. So for every, 1 billion Indians, 700 million would root for you, 300 million will not root for you and say, and it really works. And because you know what, people like you get the emotions out, which is all right for us. But
I was quite pleasantly surprised with the sock theme. I didn't expect you guys to make an anthem on my celebration. I was like, wow, this is a nice step forward. Let's go for it.
But to what you are saying, that you need to be credible, you need to watch for yourself and stay true to this. It's true for everyone. It's true for all of us.
Yeah. So this is something that I learned through sport. Yeah. And even the conversation that we're having about sport should be given importance. In no way or by no means are we saying that leave studying and take sports as a career. But what sport does is, if one really immerses themselves into sport, what sport taught me was to take a risk. Because there comes a situation when you are absolutely under pressure and there's no option but to jump. But for that jump to happen, you should have done enough practice, enough consistent work on a daily basis to believe in yourself that even if I jump, I have the ability to make sure that I don't, fade away, to be safe or to save myself. So, but sport does push you in that direction, and there's a reason why people can feel the same emotion and the same tension in one moment in sport, in a united way, that very hardly any other thing can make you feel like that. And what the thing that you mentioned about the World Cup, we felt like everyone felt the pressure and everyone felt united. Of course, there was the occasion as well, but that was one example, and I feel so grateful that I was part of that experience where everyone felt like they were together watching something and they felt the same emotions. People who saw it and I spoke to afterwards as well said the same thing. I've never experienced something like that. So what sport taught me, and I think that can apply to every other walk of life, is you have to take risks. Yeah. There is nothing called safe options. You can try and be safe for a certain amount of time, but at certain points in everyone's life, a huge amount of pressure is going to hit you. Yeah. You cannot run away from it. I haven't met a person who can claim that I've had a perfect life. I've had no pressures, no situation where I had to take a call where things could have gone absolutely one way in a negative sense, but then I came out 2 months later and I felt like that was the best decision of my life. I haven't met any person yet. I mean, if there is someone, I would love to meet them and know what that life is like, but I haven't. Till now, I have faced many challenges. The only option I had was to follow my heart and make a decision and not care about whether I'm going to succeed or fail. And every time I've done that, I have come out as a better person, and things have turned out well. There is nothing called absolute safety. I haven't experienced that. So sport has taught me that, which can apply to every other walk of life as well. But you need to be absolutely involved in what you're doing. Yeah. For me, I love playing cricket. Yeah. So when I love something, I give my life to it. Yeah. If you're that good at what you want to do, give your life to it. That's all I tell people. Don't be in between, because then you will want to work hard and make sure you do everything that's required to be able to succeed in that, or to do justice to the decision that you've made, right? So it is not a forced decision then, and this is what sport has taught me, that you go beyond your limits to do something for something that you love, whether it's your sport, whether it's your life partner, the person that we love, we go beyond our limits to do anything for them. The main focus is love. So find out what you actually love and go for it with absolute clarity. Right. That's a fantastic message. Before I let you go on one thing, because you said that sports teaches you to just stay on, stay put, relentless energy, passion goes into it. 2021, we all were waiting, and Melbourne happened. Can you tell us what happened, like that match? How did you feel the energy that it's happening, or when did you feel the energy?
We were on the edge of the seat like this. But but when did you feel?
I still can't make any sense of it. That's a very honest admission. And a lot of people have tried to ask me, what were you thinking? What did you plan? I have no answers. The fact of the matter is I was under so much pressure, my mind had shut off completely by the 12th or the 13th over, because I was like, I was going through what I was going through. Then I came back in the Asia Cup, I was playing well, and then I felt like, wow, I'm ready to play in this World Cup. And at the 10th over mark, we are 31 for 4. I've just ran Akshar out. And I was, I think, 12 of 25 or something. And I remember in the break, Rahul Bhai came to, I don't remember what he said. I swear, and I've told him this as well. I said, I have no idea what you said in that break because I was zoned out. My mind was spinning so fast. I was like, this is worse than it was before. I've spiraled down so far now that there is no comeback from here. That was my...
You felt that?
Yeah, that was my honest feeling at the halfway mark. And that's why I'm not able to make sense of it, because I was under so much pressure, my brain completely shut off. And then my instinct took over. So when I stopped thinking and planning, whatever God-given talent I have, that came to the surface. And then I felt like something higher was guiding me. It wasn't a thing of, I can't claim any of that. I can't claim that I planned this and nothing. I was trying to do it before as well. It was not happening. So, and I can still, it's like, I can sense it, because it was such a strong experience that this is exactly what people who saw told me as well, that we felt like it was something different, and I felt it. And I feel grateful that I was in that position and it was happening through me, an experience which touched everyone the same way. So that lesson for me was, stop using this so much that it actually pushes you away from the real magic. When you just go for it and decide to just play, that's when the magic happens. And what happened that night, I can't explain it. I don't think that can happen ever again, that kind of experience. And now when I look back at it, the perfection of the scenario, no one but him can create and present it to you. And that is my honest feeling about that night.
Wow. Wow. I think we should end it there.